Welcome to the episode of the Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valera. On today's episode, we continue our trek through the CW show Fight to Survive. We are in the fourth episode of the show, and folks, things have been getting hot and heavy on this show, with it being one of the more intense battles that we've seen each and every week, with these individuals just going to town against each other. And folks, this episode picked up right where we left off with episode 3, with us being prepared to go to battle. We've got Missy and Jay versus Jonathan and Sarah for the battle of the pot. It's crazy to say something like that. But folks, before we dive in, I want to thank you guys for listening into the Love and Reality Podcast. If you've been following along on YouTube, I've been releasing these exclusively to YouTube each and every week. I do have the Love and Reality Podcast that I drop each and every week on podcast platforms across the board, but I wanted to give some stuff a little bit of exclusivity here on YouTube, so thank you for that. If you could like, subscribe, and do all those other crazy fun things that you can do on these platforms to just share a little bit of support along the way, I would greatly appreciate it. But back to the arena, Missy and Jay kind of struggle early on. We kind of see Jonathan really make some moves to really look like he's about to take Jay out. At one point, he boxes Jay out and is able to make it a one-on-one versus Sarah and Missy battle. And it almost looked like we were getting ready to see Missy and Jay take their first L on the season. However, just like every other battle, Jay is able to get the better of Jonathan, allowing Missy to sneak in and snatch the totem and get out. And now they are the owners of the pot. What I love about this scenario here is this. Missy has continuously said she doesn't care what we're going to battle for. She just wants you to know that whatever you have, we can have. And Jay just continues to dominate. There's something fascinating about this. It's crazy to see somebody dominate in such crazy fashion. This man hasn't had any food. This man is just going off water and coconut and is single-handedly, one by one, taking them out. And then, of course, everybody's talking crap about Jay, which is funny because Jay keeps on dominating these guys. Like, what do you have to say? Zane said he's tired of them picking on everyone. Do something about it. Stop talking about it and start fighting these folks one-on-one. Go to the drum, beat it before they do, and get to the square circle and beat them. Ain't nobody been able to do it since. We've seen people drop like flies. Jonathan and Sailor think they can win. We don't give out participation trophies on these shows. Go to the battle, go to our square arena and fight these folks and see what happens. Jay and Missy talking about they need to knock Zane out as he's the team's biggest competitor, especially for his size. Jonathan tells the rest of the team about the other water resource. They had to find it. Sarah's talking about they need to take down Amal, Jay, and Missy. They all get lovey-dovey and they change their team name to Team Survive. Maybe that'll be the spark they need in the middle of the arena and stop taking these L's. But Sarah sits down with Missy to talk strategy. Her goal is to blend her with their groups. They have a productive conversation. The one thing that I don't think that a lot of people are understanding is how well Missy's playing the game. A little bit of conversations here and there with the opposing team, dropping the little eardrops of, hey, here's this, hey, here's that. In this instance, she goes to Sarah. They have the conversation. Missy's excited that Sarah sees her the way she does, as this threat, and she just says, hey, can I use your axe? And she says she gives it to her. Just gives it to her. It's the little things like that if things do implode on Amal and Jay and that group, Missy's going to be like, hey, remember this, remember that, remember this. It wasn't me. It was this, it was that. So she has that in her back pocket. Very, very strategic and great game plan there. Jonathan and Christina talk about not loving the idea of Sarah always disappearing to talk to Missy, especially after they have kind of laying out their plans. My dude Jay is struggling as he's not getting any food, and he's trying to catch these like little small crabs, and my guy is struggling. Like, he's picking it up and then losing it. Kind of feel bad for the guy. I mean, he's been the ultimate competitor. It would be horrible to watch this guy not like have to tap out for like food reasons or something like that after dominating everything. Team Team Survive shows up to get some water, and Amal lays down the groundwork and saying they can have one drink of water, but after that they're cut off. Sarah brings up that they had an agreement in place. She said it's a game. Again, it's a game here. You know what I mean? We're strategically playing a game here. Everyone's all butthurt. Again, it's a game. You know what I mean? I hate these people. Like, I hate Team Survive with everything inside of me. I'm not mad at all and Team Fight throwing it down against them. You know what I mean? It's a game. Grow up, fight them. They've lost over and over again. Use your resources, find some resources, and get it together. Just because you keep losing in the arena doesn't mean you get to cry and whine about deals that may or may not be there. Well, Jay is on the hunt with the squad, with them all, to hunt down and get some food. In this process, Zane bangs the drum. He's pissed off. He's challenging Jay. He doesn't care what it's about. He just wants to win, but he wants to take him down and put them in his place. Interesting perspective. Team Fight comes back with food. Missy is happy as hell. It's crazy how things have shifted. This shifts. You know what I mean? The shift here is insane because you're about to get the strongest competitors on the field here and get them food. It's almost like Team Survive over here doesn't even stand a chance anymore. If you keep fueling Missy and Jay and Amal, who keep dominating in the middle of that arena, there's no looking back. So Missy says that everyone should be scared because they have food and water. Robbie's back, which is interesting to see because I'm intrigued to see what he can bring to the table. He is a pretty big guy, and he's a pretty big asset for Team Survive. Sorry. So if he can bring something to the table. Zane steps up, says he's called the challenge. He said he's challenging Jay for his rope, and he wants the title of undefeated. Jay said he's 100% rejuvenated after eating that crab. Man, I just hope he sends Zane's ass home. Like, I was a fan of Zane earlier, but I don't know, stepping up to the plate and fighting this man might not be, that might be your ticket home. Maybe he was trying to go home. I don't know. Zane is way bigger than Jay. You know what I mean? Like, Jay is tough and stout, but he's got the size advantage. Even though Jay has ate, some food, Zane has been pretty healthy here. Look, this was a battle for the ages. Like, you have two giants just plowing and going hard at each other over and over and over and over again. It was really kind of cool to watch it unfold. And you know what? When I'll tell you, I really thought Zane was going to win this at one point. He kind of had Jay right where he wanted him. And then just slippery slopes, we see Jay kind of get out of it and kind of get his get another bearing and maybe slip out of something. And as we see this battle is like going back and forth. They're tugging, they're striking, boom, boom, boom. And then Jay just does what he's done on every single challenge so far. And he has slayed the beast and won another competition. Not only does he win, he sends Zane, the biggest guy on the other team, right off the island. This is like a strong win. This isn't Missy and Jay battling the two weakest components of the other team. This is Jay stepping up to the plate, getting challenged by the biggest player who's been consistently eating, consistently drinking, and just knocking him out of the game. Huge win. You got food now, you got water, and now you slayed a beast. Nobody should be more on top of the world than my guy Jay is right now. This was a strong win. It was a crazy battle, very good battle. Love the sportsmanship afterward. Jay knew that Zane gave it everything he had, left it all in the circle. As Zane is saying his goodbyes, no, 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 hey, goodbye. He said he might, if he's going to go out, he'd like to go out like a warrior. Well, you didn't go out like a warrior. You took the L, brother. But carry on, my friend. But as he is walking out, we get a bombshell. Robbie walks up and says, "You got any room on that boat?" and decides to tap out in this moment. Not only is the biggest, strongest player on Team Survive out the door, but now Robbie, who's been struggling over the last couple of days, but can really be helpful in the future, decides to tap out himself. What a massive, massive blow for this team. So Zayn, Robbie, out the door. Team Fight stands tall again for the fourth consecutive episode. Can they be stopped? Will at some point the demise within really fall apart? But Amal, Jay, and Missy are really, really strong. And it's going to be interesting to see if they start targeting one by one by one and picking people apart on this show. That's it for this episode of the Love and Reality Podcast, where we're quickly recapping Fight to Survive episode 4. It airs Thursdays on the CW network. If you're missing it, I'm telling you, you're missing one of the better reality TV shows on weekly programming right now. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for listening, and we will be back next week for another episode of Fight to Survive.